Well, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name is Ken Close. I'll be your host today from the USA up here in the Pacific Northwest. My background is in engineering. I've been with Healy for since the Stone Ages. I love it. It's fantastic technology, and we've gone through many different learning experiences over the years. So. I'm also happy to be joined by our head of operations, Jake Barron. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Good. Great to see you, Ken. Hello, everyone.
Welcome from the other side of the continent, right?
Mhm.
Um, and we've got also our other co-host is Henry Pena. He is the head of onboarding. So everybody say hello to Henry. Hi, Henry.
Hello, Ken. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday.
Welcome. This is it's super fun to have great experienced folks like you guys joining us. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Henry. And you guys, our audience, thanks for being here. So let me tell you a little bit about how Tech Tip Tuesday works if you haven't seen one before. This is a chat-based forum where everybody puts your questions into the chat. And then Henry and myself and Jake, and sometimes the audience, we will unpack those questions. We will answer those questions. We'll solve the mysteries, and we'll come up with solutions for you. So put your questions in the chat, and we'll get that started. What we can't do is we can't treat, prevent, diagnose, or talk about any medical conditions. I just want to put that out there. We can point you to the right resources for things if you need specifics on conditions like that, but that's not why we're here. We're here to make sure the technology works, make sure that the system is operating within its boundaries, and then also give you a deeper understanding of how that's done. So, if that all makes sense and sounds fun, let's get this party going, huh? You're muted, Jake.
I was just going to say, maybe it's a even bigger party today because today is World Health Day. So, and here
That's
we are,
awesome.
Tech Tip Tuesday, April 7th. So yeah, let's kick things off.
World Health. There's a special day every day of the week, right? I love that one. World Health is amazing because frankly, that's my mission. My mission, I think that's, Healy's mission also is to give people tools, give people resources, understandings about how these bodies work and how we can align with those. So Healy and the frequency system is the perfect way to do it. So let's run that. I love it. Let's see. Here we go. We got a question right off the bat here. Let's see. A question today about the Blue app. While running the vibrational analysis, the blue and the green light keep blinking. If I run any vibrational analysis for more than 30 minutes, I notice that only the blue light keeps blinking and the green light stops. Is the harmonization process still happening, or is there a glitch or a bug? And I love that. That's a great question. And this is normal function, right? The cool thing about the Blue app is it is an interface, and it does it takes a look at the client, takes a look at the database, and then merges content to align that client. And then the blue light's going to stay flashing all the time because that signifies that there's a connection between the Healy hardware and the app itself. So that's kind of like your telephone line being connected, right? Back and forth communications. The green light is this communications back and forth, and it gives information. It updates. It doesn't do it all the time because it doesn't need to all the time, but it does update back and forth, back and forth. So when it's blinking, it's transferring information. You can actually watch it on the app. There's these waves, and you can see this interface back and forth, but it doesn't need to do it all the time. At first, it's really setting up the parameters, getting things in uh, in the program functionality. It gets it connected and linked, and then you can actually turn you can move out of the app instead of what it used to be. You had to be in the app all the time, but now you can move out of it, so it's still functioning. Yeah, Henry, you want to add anything that you've talked to people about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Everything you said, Ken, absolutely correct. The only thing I would add is the fact that this is also a way for the Healy to save battery because when you're running a vibration like that for a long time, the green light will turn off. Now, keep in mind that this is completely normal. Just
Mhm.
notice that our recommended time ranges are usually quite short. I know there are some users who like to run vibrations for long periods of time, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes more than 30 minutes, sometimes hours. But keep in mind that the default recommended duration is going to be 1 minute and 20 seconds, which is very short. And we usually recommend that you do this multiple times a day, ideally anywhere between 3 to 5 times, which would mean that you wouldn't really find yourself in the need to run a vibration for longer than 30 minutes, encountering this phenomenon of seeing the green light turning off eventually. So just something to keep in mind, but please know that it is normal. It doesn't mean that it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. You should still be able to see this vibration screen happening. It's just
Mhm.
the green light will turn off.
And also too, think about this, folks. When we're doing these applications from the quantum field, from the information field, from the energy body, we're giving these applications to the body from a vibrational perspective. You're updated. Your system, your blueprint, even your nervous system is updated at the speed of light. Just snap, right? So it's very, very fast in terms of how things are uptaken, I guess you might say, within the quantum field. Your blueprint is updated very quickly. So when it comes to things that are working with the body in terms of maybe emotional or energetic or spiritual, it takes very, very little time. And like Henry said, maybe you do those short bursts multiple times a day. When it comes to systemic things, things that are whole body, system wide, then you could do those a little bit longer. But again, multiple sessions. We tend to look at things from a systemic or an acute type of viewpoint, or conscious and subconscious, right? And so we look at those from that perspective, and then apply accordingly. Conscious things are of the body, right? And the body tends to be a little more dense than more 3D material, so sometimes it takes more applications. The other side of the world, the other side of the equation is the spiritual, energetic side. Takes very little to update it, and so you don't need to go so long. These things are, I mean, I talk about this a lot when we're looking at the quantum blueprint of you, the higher version of you, the information field of you. There's nothing wrong there. There's nothing broken. There's nothing out of order. It's not until a consciousness, the mind, the personality, the beliefs, the meanings, the brain starts to assign meaning to all this field information, and then it becomes biology, right? And biology can tend to be the tainted part because of, the filtering mechanism within the mind. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our perceptions, all that kind of stuff creates these disharmonies. And so changing that mind part when we're working with the Blue app and the analysis engine, we are a big part of that participation. I want to really remind folks, we are a big part of that participation. We need to not just let the device do all the heavy lifting. We've got to look at that when it's running that analysis, and there's content being run across the screen. Read it, understand it, follow it. Right? That's advice. That's advice. It's like having a coach right there, in your little device right there is a coach just talking to you, saying, "Hey, here's how to optimize this. Here's how to, realign that." So, very important that we participate in these things.
I think that's a good reminder there, Ken, too, because it is more convenient now in the current Analyze app that yes, you can do something else while you're running the results from an analysis. If a phone call comes in or whatever, it's not going to like cancel your program there for those of us that are that had those struggles in the early days as well. But one of the good things in the last one is that it had to stay on that main screen and kind of keep more present with what the results are and what the analysis too. So that yes, overall it is better and more convenient, but it doesn't mean that you should not look at it at all when it's when you're actually doing this as well. It doesn't mean you should move it to the background and start scrolling Instagram or start reading some news about the war or some some sort of thing that's kind of completely changing your mindset as well. So
It's a very good point, Jake, and I would encourage everyone to remain with their Healy, right? Remain with your Healy. Remain with the therapy or the infusion or the session, whatever it is you want to call it. Remain with it. Um, Take for instance, if you're in the medical field and you're going to get a physical, and the doctor says, "Here's your prescription," or "Here's your to-do list." You're probably going to follow that instruction, right? And not not waver like I'm going to maybe eat better if they give you that kind of advice. I'm going to take my any medications. I'm going to follow the protocol of the therapies. If you're especially in the physical world, you've injured a joint or a muscle, and you've got to do some stretching and some things like that. It's important that you follow these instructions and stay present with it. Okay, so Sonia's got a question. Is that for all apps? Will this work with the pink app too? If you're talking about the blue light and the green light flashing and that kind of thing, with the pink app, with the Healy, the Healy app, that so when the green light is flashing, you'll notice that when you first load a program from the pink app, you're going to see that green light flash very quickly. That's data transfer. The blue light flashes at the same rate all the time. Okay, let's just look at it as that's the phone line that the Healy and the app are on the phone talking to each other. Okay, and that's going to stay the same rate. Once it's connected, it stays at the same rate. It flashes at one flash per second. The green light changes in its flashing frequency to kind of give you indications of what's going on. The rapid flash in succession, very long, very rapid, it's about 2 flashes per second. That's data transfer. So that's when the app is sending the program to the Healy hardware, locking it into the memory on the Healy, and then once it gets done with that load process, it starts to flash at 1 flash per second, and that's just the fact that the program is running. Okay. Again, the flash, if it's just really quickly 2 flashes per second for about 3 seconds and goes off, that means the power is low and the Healy needs to be recharged, right? And then just shuts off. But when it comes to running the program in the Pink app, once that load process is finished, the memory in the Healy is loaded with the program, you can turn the app completely off, and you'll notice on the Healy, the green light will continue to flash, but the blue light will go away. Okay, that just means the phone call between the Healy app and the Healy has ended. They hung up the phone. You got all the information you need, and now the Healy's running by itself. But the green light will continue to flash all the way till the end of the program, and then it stops. Okay, so there's some little parameters about the lights and their function. Okay. Anything you guys want to add to that?
No, just to add, I mean, one of the questions at the end was if they would be able to answer a call, for example, while they're running a program, and the answer is yes. Just keep in mind that with the Healy 2 app, you're even able to fully close the app and you can answer a call and the app will be closed. If you need to reopen it, you can connect again and you're gonna see the progress of your program. Now with the Healy by Analyze 2 app, you cannot close the app. Remember, you cannot close the app. You're able to minimize it. If you are not aware of the difference between closing an app and minimizing it, I encourage you to look it up. Because it is important, so not only for Healy purposes, but in general, it is important that you know how to close an app on your phone. And yes, you can close the Healy 2 app completely, and answer a call if needed. You're also welcome to minimize it and answer a call. Do not be afraid if the Healy disconnects from the app. It will literally not affect the program. The Healy is able to run programs independently, but with the Healy Advisor Analyze 2 app, you will always need to be connected to the app. Even if the app is minimized, you need to keep the app open. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so there's another question here about the potencies in the resonance aura and the coaching analysis. So it's got the different potencies. So when you do an analysis, it gives you some feedback, and there are numbers ahead of that. There's percentages and numbers, right? And they all have significance in terms of what they mean. The coaching training has a pretty good outline of what that means. It's within the coaching. It's on the. It's what? Where is that, Jake? Is it actually just the coaching module training?
Mm,
The it talks
Yeah,
about
there's a
the dilution, the numbers. It also indicates what arena you're kind of working with, whether it's the spiritual, emotional, physical body. All those numbers are significant, and that's there's some training on that.
Yeah, it's in Healy Academy. There's a coaching module section. So there's all the main hardware products, and then we got our different apps too. But the coach module has its own section here because it's so extensive uh, as well. There's a bunch of different videos there too. But this particular video, this one, the interpretation of the analysis parameters, and then also the next one that's listed right next to it, the transmission duration Healy coach. These, kind of help give a good overview of some of the questions we get related to, how long should I vibrate the results. Henry mentioned it earlier. The default is actually pretty short amount of time there too, depending on what type of issue you're working on too. But these two videos are great. I can share the links in the chat here, but just know you can get to it from Healy Academy. Go to the coach module section. And all the videos in this whole series are worth watching. But if you wanted to pick just two on this one topic, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, and to the other part of that question about what does it mean when they're increasing from a 1 to a 1E36. So basically that's not really an increment in increase. It's actually a signification within a different field of what's going on. So when you're looking at that parameter of 1 to say 100,000, that's a category that falls within, I mean, the numbers are significant to whether they're addressing the physical, the mental, emotional, or the spiritual body. So, for instance, there's in the chat, there's a number 1E36. So 1E36, that's within the mental and emotional category of the person. And then it signifies something that's within the ancestors. It's an ancestral. Um, it's whatever it's addressing is from your lineage, right? It's ancestral. So these numbers do have some significance, and it's not necessarily like 1 to 100,000 is one is great and 100,000 is bad, or vice versa. It's just various categories of what's going on. And I don't think that coaching module has that dilution chart, does it?
It doesn't have the full chart. It talks about in general, kind of okay, when we're talking cause and effect, and it mentions, of course, to start with if you have any D potencies listed there, start with those as well, and especially the lower the number is probably something that you're kind of aware of in your everyday life also. So if you see a D1, then probably something to work on right away there too. And then the larger the number gets, it's not that it's not relevant. It's just maybe not something that needs to be addressed immediately. Maybe start with some of these other potencies that are uh, ready to be addressed right now. So
Yeah, more like in the the like Jake mentioned, the D1 would be in the conscious realm, the physical realm of D, meaning the physical body. So you've got within the that chart there is D, C, and LM, right? D is that physical body, C is that mental and emotional body, and LM is the spiritual aspects. And so when it's D1, that's a physical condition that should be addressed right now. If it was, say, D60, it might be in the background, that's not something that's as urgent right now to deal with, but still relevant. So that's I don't know if do we have a resource for that? It's a dilution chart. It's how homeopathic remedies are allocated, right? Or how they're because homeopathic arena, it's a very small amount of the actual essence of an herb or some kind of healing energy, and it's diluted, and yet the energy of that original entity, whatever, stays within the mix, right? But it just gets further and further diluted. And so there, this chart kind of gives how it would be within your body, if it's forefront or if it's diluted way back. You know what I mean? So this chart gives a lot of great information as to where it's applicable.
Yeah, and the first video link that I posted there, it does refer to this, traditional dilution chart as well too. That's not something that Healy created at all.
Mm-mm.
That's been around for a long, long time too. And if you do search that, you can find sort of those complete details online as well. But when those numbers refer back to this particular chart.
Right. So there's a okay, so someone there's another comment here about the dilution and about that D 100,000 very being very intense and very overwhelming to the system. So D still staying within that physical realm, but when you go to the numbers represent um, kind of behavior or categories of where one it's applying. So D 10,000 would be the physical within life themes, the themes in your life. So is it overwhelming? Is it highly intense? It's just the 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 way that one is managing their physical themes in life. Maybe the way you physically operate in your life does not align with way you mentally perceive your life. Okay? So when we're talking about the physical, the mental, and the spiritual, um, so that D 100,000 and the D 10,000 are speaking to different areas in which D, aka physical, is being needing to be addressed. D being the physical aspects, but 100,000 indicates life themes, uh, and so does 10,000 indicates things within life themes, one more intense than the other on the scale. So 10,000 is more intense, um, less diluted, I guess you might say. Okay, does that make sense? So 100,000 would be more diluted within the physical aspects of the life theme. And, um, the higher the number, the more diluted, if that makes sense. It's again, it's homeopathic remedies, and like Jake said, he didn't invent that, but it's relevant to what um, the way that that analysis system is looking at the overall picture of energetic you. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
I also want to remind everybody that the specific branch of homeopathy that we use here at Healy for those potencies is by Anthony Pepler. and there are a couple of books by her that are available online. So it may be worth taking a look at that. So that's Anthony Plepo there, just so that you're aware.
There you go. Okay, so Sonia's asking something about so being able to answer a call, for example, and the program will still be running. Yes. So either one of those programs, either the Healy 2 app or the Healy Analyze 2 app, both of those will still run in the background. So to clarify about what Henry said on an app that's running hard close versus just running in the background. And and as Henry said, if you don't know how to hard close a program in your phone, you better learn because there's probably a lot of things running that you didn't know. And one of the best teachers is YouTube. Just go to YouTube and say, hard close an app on my Android or on my iPhone or whatever. And there'll be a video on how to do that exactly. And it's different. Just just swiping a app out of the way versus hard closing, two different things. Okay. All right. So Amy's got a question about in the Aura module. The first time I ran an Aura scan for myself, it showed me Aura recording plus analysis. Now, all it will do for me or friends I'm running scans on is the Aura recording. There's no analysis. How do I get the analysis portion? You want to answer that one, Henry?
Well,
Because
I'm trying
it's it's
to in the
it's
first time around.
Well,
it's the same.
normally what happens is you do the first basically you do the
Initial.
results, and then you see the different going through the different auras and the color and the picture of you as well, and I got the detail for like total energy and that kind of stuff too. Then there's a continue to get to the detailed analysis next. So if you're only getting the first part, there must be some sort of step or button that's not being clicked to get to the next portion too, which is where you see the detailed analysis. It can vibrate the results of the analysis too. You can also edit the analysis at that phase too if you have the advanced settings enabled there as well. So I don't it could I mean as far as I know, there's no sort of current issue going on with the Analyze app too. So if you're going through this and you're doing this and you're not seeing the continue option there too, I mean, you can always try, deleting and reinstalling the app or something like that too. But there shouldn't be any sort of issue going on right now. There's actually a really good aura analysis training video in the Healy Academy that we were just showing earlier too. I'll put that link here into the chat, but this video here kind of goes through the different process and sort of steps when you're doing an oral analysis too, and shows you maybe there was some option, or maybe I don't know, maybe your display is either zoomed in too far or not enough, or it's not showing the button to continue, or something going on there too. But everything should be working properly there within the Aura module in the Analyze app.
Yeah, if you change any aspects of your screen, like to zoom in on, sometimes things
Mhm.
disappear. You don't see the full amount of information that the app is trying to display if you've changed your appearance to large type, zoom in, like, that kind of thing. Um, I don't know. One thing I do want to cover, folks, since real quick before we're at the end of our half hour here, is that we're moving into a new season. Spring is here, summer's coming, and Healy does have some care parameters that I want to kind of touch on real quickly here to make sure that sometimes people leave their Healy in the car, or maybe out on a table or something outside. And Healy does have some operating parameters, temperature wise. Of course, we all know we're not going to submerge it or get it wet. If we get it wet, you just dry it off, but definitely never submerge it or go swimming. But the temperature range in which Healy was designed to operate in is within 41 degrees to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 5 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. So when it's in a car on a summer day, right, a hot day, it gets pretty hot in there. No, you wouldn't leave your pet in there and that kind of thing. So you shouldn't leave your Healy in there. So 140 degrees, I mean, gosh, we get to 104 sometimes here where I'm at. And so it's good to make sure that you're not having your device out exposed to that direct sun and getting it super hot or super cold, either way. Another thing I want to bring up in terms of maintenance is again, back into summer, people may be putting lotions and sunblocks and things on their body. And the wristbands, if you're using the wristbands, they can get coated with stuff and they get dirty, right? It's okay to wash the wristbands. Now, I don't mean wash in the dishwasher or the washing machine, but you take your wristbands, run them under warm water. Get some pH balanced soap, like usually your dish soap is, a little concentrated. And I always will massage that soap into the wristbands, rinse them off, shake them off, let them dry, and they're ready to go. I recommend doing that often because we sweat, we get dirt between them. I've been doing construction for weeks and I've got all kinds of sawdust and stuff in there. I'm cleaning mine almost every day. And the significance of that cleaning or being clean is that remember we are transmitting current flow from the device here into the wristband onto the skin, and contaminants between there are like a barrier, and it could feel uncomfortable, like arcing, stinging, pinching, scratching, that kind of thing, right? That's probably because you're getting a bad contact, and you don't want that to go on because it could cause some chapping. It could cause, some redness in the skin, irritation, that kind of thing. So keeping them clean, keeping your Healy within the boundaries of the temperature. A couple things as we move on into summer. Guys, anything you want to add before we get off here?
There was 2 points here at the end of this is will a replay be available for the Zoom? Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
You'll be able to view this recording on our Healy World Learning Hub. Henry just put there you go, the link in the chat there as well. She'll be up there by sometime tomorrow. And then the last question was, is there a way to send an aura interpretation to a client? Yes, you can save the results too. So I would watch that training video that I put into the chat here on the aura analysis. But when you get to the analysis section, the actual results where you could vibrate them in the top corner, there's a little 3 dots. You click those 3 dots, and you can export the results as a PDF, or you can email them. You can save the file to your phone and then email them later. That kind of thing also. But yes, it is able to do that. But just make sure that you have those. I believe that's in the advanced settings is where you can enable that. I think by default, I forget if the default is if they're on or not, but on the main menu on the Analyze app at the bottom, if you go to the settings and then go to advanced settings, you'll see the options there to customize that. I forget if the export PDF option is on by default or not, but yes, there is a way to do that. And it's very cool to be able to send the actual results to somebody.
Yeah, and because the results when you get them, it's a color
Yeah.
PDF with all it's cool looking, right? It's really cool looking. Okay, so we are at the end of our time. And speaking of 3 little dots that Jake was talking about at the top up there of the chat where it says Tech Tip Tuesday, there's 3 little dots. If you want to change this or save the chat here, click those 3 little dots. There'll be a save chat option if you're on your PC or laptop. And at the end of our call, there'll be a pop-up that lets you save the chat, and that'll have all this content that we just got done talking about, links and all that kind of stuff. Okay, guys. Well, thanks a bunch for being here on this Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks, audience, for being here. Make sure if this was helpful, you tell a friend and come join us again next time. Remember, this
And
is
remember, 2 weeks from today, the 21st of April, and I believe we might have a special sneak peek or tour or something like that. We'll see. Something
yep.
very cool to show you guys 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Jake had a good idea. I'm all the construction stuff I've been alluding to. Maybe I can do an on-site at the new healing center that I've built. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. Okay,
Awesome.
guys. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye bye, everybody. Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone.